Hi and welcome back. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. So what we are looking at is one of my keikis off of a mama plant here. And beautiful, beautiful spike. Actually, this is the largest spike she's had since I've had her, and I've had her since, I believe, 2019. And if we look inside the pot, we have lots and lots of roots that appear to be in there. However, let me put her back here real quick. I picked her up and look at this. She's very wobbly in there. So I want to take her out of this pot today and look at what's going on with the roots, clean her up a little bit, and possibly put her in a smaller pot. We'll just have to wait and see what we find when we get in there. So let's head over to the table and get her out of her pot and see what's going on. All right, so I've got my Fiskars. I hope I remembered to bring everything. And I did bring the hydrogen peroxide for sealing off any wounds. And I've got a couple of pot sizes here. Yeah, so I have had her since 2019, and she's been sitting in this pot since October of 2020. All right, let's see what we've got going on. And I'm going to squeeze the sides of the pot just to loosen anything up. And this is the Miracle Grow potting mix. I was using that back in the day. Oh, we have some roots down here at the bottom. So let me see if I want to salvage as much as possible. So there we go. All right. Well, okay. So her roots actually, I mean, she does have quite a few roots. Maybe she's just not sitting down far enough. I mean, as you can see, there's more roots in here than I expected, and they're not, I don't even see anywhere we might need to cut any off. Let me finish getting some of this media off of here. I didn't water her like I normally do, so this media is dry. And she's got this root here so do you see how brown that root looks? That's just because it wasn't getting any light, so that's why it doesn't have the green. It does look desiccated, however, it's still very, very firm. So we'll leave that one on there. I'll leave that one. And this one here, even though it has all of these branches, this portion here is dried out, so I will cut that piece off. Just want to show you up close. Do you see how dried out that is? Even though it's branching here, I'm going to go ahead and cut it off and clean her up a little bit and see if we can't get her to produce some more roots inside the pot, because she's got lots and lots and lots of aerial roots. I want more inside the pot. And let's see, I want to take this leaf. Yeah, I'm going to take this old leaf right here off. And I'm not going to remove the keiki from the mama plant because the mama's still doing fine and most of the roots are connected to mom. So if I take keiki off, keiki has no roots of her own at the moment. And if I lose the bloom, that's okay. She's a very reliable bloomer. She drops her bloom and then shortly thereafter she has another one that starts, so it's not like I won't see her bloom again, at least I hope. Let me know in the comments down below if you've run into this problem where you're checking out your orchids and you see it wobbling. What is your first thought? Is your first thought that there might not be roots in there, or the media is going over? Let me know. Another thing that kind of brought my attention is one of mom's leaves had yellowed, and I went to take it off, and that's when I noticed how wobbly she was. So that's what prompted this little quick look-see inside the pot and see what was going on. Where is that one that I said I was going to take off? There it is. And I think I'm probably going to have to put her in the small pot that I got, just because there's not going to be a lot left for her to go off of. And I'm going to try to get as many of these aerial roots to go down into the pot. So with that, let me take this leaf as well, because that'll allow me to get those leaves in there. All right, that one's fine. And get some of these older dried off ones since I have her out and I'm able to get to them. Some of these old spikes off of here. Like I said, she's a fairly reliable bloomer, and once she started blooming, she'll do her spike, and then once that spike finishes off, wait a couple of months and she starts on another one. So like I said, if I lose this spike, not a big deal. I mean, it's beautiful, and like I said, this is the best spike she's had. got to do what you got to do for the health of the orchid. All right, so I am going to spray her down just because I did do some cuts, and then we will come back and get her all potted up. I'll be right back because I'm also going to go and rinse her off just to wet these aerial roots so that they're more pliable and I can get them down into the pot. Okay, so she's been all rinsed off, hydrogen peroxide for sealing off any wounds that I might have created. I'm also, once I pot her up, use this paper towel and make sure there's no wet spots inside the leaf joints just to keep from rot setting in. But I think I've wet enough of these aerial roots that I think I should be able to get them in like that, hopefully. And because it's going into new bark, those aerial roots will still be in a more dry climate than a wet climate because this bark will dry out rather quickly. So here are the pot sizes. So this one is about the same size that she came in, and I feel like that's just going to be too big for now. Let's see about this little repot me here. Maybe have her sit back, excuse me, a little bit in there. Kind of have her sit like that. And then this way, the roots coming off of the keiki can go down into the pot as well. Because I think that was another issue is the media was so far away from the keiki roots, they had no choice but to go aerial. Because of course there's more moisture out in the air than there is on the surface of the pot. All right, so let's look at that one. And then this one here is, my betta fish came in this, and I just sanitized it and put some holes in it. So let's see if that'll fit in here. I feel like this one might be a little small, but at the same time. So you can train your aerial roots to be in the pot. Now, obviously, they may not make it in the pot just because they are used to a drier environment. But to initially get your plant going again, you can put them into the pot. And I have found as long as I don't keep the media too wet too quickly, they tend to go ahead and survive. I think I like that better. She's still got room to grow in there. I'll make sure that root doesn't stick out and stays in the pot. And then this way also, she's close enough to the media, the keiki is, to go down into it with new roots. All right, so that's what we'll do. So I had to cut it off real quick and go outside and heat up my soldering iron because I forgot to put holes at the bottom of the pot, which is probably the most important place to have the holes so the water doesn't sit down at the bottom. Now we will pot her up. Just cut some bark at the bottom. And I'm just using just the fir bark, the small fir bark that I get at the pet shop. And once again, maneuver these aerial roots down into the pot. And I don't want you sticking out, but I do want to leave, like I always try to do, leave some on the outer portion so I can watch the progress. I'm saying that with such confidence here. Progress, not the decline of roots. All right, so let's set her about right there. And I'm going to try to do this without staking her as well. But if I need to stake her to stabilize her, then that's what I'll have to do. But preferably, I would like it not to be staked. Use my scoop so I can get it up underneath. And when you're pressing down, press down lightly. Like you do want to press it down. You don't want a lot of air roots in there. Air pockets. Especially right now, I don't want too much drying out going. And with, like I said, this is new bark, so it will dry out a lot quicker than if it had been in here for a couple of months. And I'm trying to do, let's see. All right, so I'm gonna have to be extra careful because one of Mom's roots is growing off of a leaf, but I don't want to bury Mom too deep, but I still want the baby to be able to reach the media. That's going to be a trick in and of itself. Really have to keep an eye on Mom the next few weeks because she is a little bit deeper than you would normally want to put the crown, the base of your Phalaenopsis. But I think for the sake of my keiki, I am going to take that chance and definitely keep an extra careful eye just to make sure that she doesn't rot. So let me see if I can show you guys what I'm talking about. So if you look right here, so Mom is pretty deep in her crown, but there's no leaf joints or anything to allow water into her. But like I said, I'll still have to keep an eye out just to make sure she doesn't rot. And we are getting more snow. I should have never said anything about wanting to buy orchids, because ever since I said that, there's just snow, snow, snow in the forecast. I know some people really like snow. I'm not a snow person. Like, I don't do the skiing thing. I don't build snowmen. None of that good stuff. If I had my way, we would still be living in a tropical climate. The good thing about Colorado, though, is out of the 365 days of the year, on average, I believe it's like 335 days of sunshine. So even in your gloomiest months, we do get sun during the day. How long it lasts is questionable, but we do get sun. All right, well, I believe there she is. And I think she'll be okay. I don't think I'll need to stake her. I won't water her right now. I'll wait until tomorrow to give her water, just to make sure that all of the cuts and everything that were made are sealed off. But as you can see, all of her aerial roots are now in, minus this one right here that is growing too far into. I would have to take this leaf off in order to get it down in there, and I'm not willing to sacrifice Mom's leaf right there. She's got one, so these two larger leaves that you see are the last two for Mom. So this one and this one. The rest of them are from the baby. And the more I look at her, the more I think I might stake her just to keep her from wobbling. She's not moving too much. She's a lot more secure than she was. But for my comfort level, I think I will stake her just for a few weeks until those roots establish. And I do have lots of roots here on the outside that I can monitor to see what's going on and kind of keep up with her progress. And most of those, especially these that you see on the outside, are the aerial roots. So again, fingers crossed they start branching and she takes off. And I think in the smaller pot she'll do well, because it will force me to keep an eye on her, because in smaller pots they dry out quicker than the larger pots. So this is what she was in, and this is what she's going in. So you can see quite a bit difference, about 2 inches difference. Well, everybody have a beautiful rest of the day, and go ahead and leave your comments down below if you have any thoughts on the success of this, or if you think I should have taken the keiki off, but I don't think she was ready. The roots that she had were not strong enough, in my opinion. I could be wrong, so leave that down below. Let me know what you think, and we'll see you guys on the next one.